Welcome everyone to another mod spotlight, and this time we will have a nice mod called the 8 Years War of Resistance in Asia Realism project. This is still a work in progress, but it is incredibly promising already. It is pretty amazing what it's been achieved from this mod. Japan, China have been completely reworked, and there's already been some changes as well to Indochina and the Southeast Indies areas. Japan, as you can see now, has a democratic government and quite a few more puppets than usual. In general, the fact is that in the standard game, unfortunately, Japan was very incorrectly represented, as well as China as well was pretty incorrectly represented. So this mod aims to fix exactly that by adding a ton of flavor and different levels of historical accuracy to Japan and China, by adding a lot of the very tiny warlords and puppet states that exist in the area. For example, the East Chahar Autonomous Region, which is a puppet of Japan, the East Hebei Autonomous Council, and then when talking about warlords, we have the Hebei Chahar Political Council, Shanxi Sichuan Army, the Ma clique, which was already in the game, the Sichuan clique, Xikang, and the Guangdong clique, making Xinjiang a non-aligned state instead of being communist. And then a bit of a rework to the Republic of China. Now, unfortunately, the focus tree is still a bit work in progress. A ton of these don't have any actual effects, and that's a problem. But the mod creator is obviously working on it, and that's exactly what we want to see. Now, Japan does have a new focus tree, which is, in my opinion, quite excellent. It's incredibly big, very nice, with features of all kinds. There's just ways to do things differently compared to history, and then there's also ways to do things exactly as history happened. The main thing that they seem to have improved is the political line of Japan. It used to be that essentially Japan was just fascist, and now there's just a ton more options that you can do when you play as Japan, which is great because it is a pretty fun country to play. Unfortunately, it wasn't very deep in the vanilla Hearts of Iron experience. Another thing that was done was replace a ton of flags with more historically accurate and more understandable variants and versions, which is always a nice thing as well. And then another thing that was done was a bit of a revamp to the cabinet and laws system. The laws have a new type of advisor called foreign advisors, who are essentially teams of advisors that you can get depending on whose faction you're in. So if you're in a faction with the Soviet Union, you can get Soviet advisors. If you're in a faction with Britain, you can get British advisors, etc., etc. And they all have different traits associated with them. For example, the French military mission just has a land doctrine research time -5%, but a British advisor will reduce your naval doctrine research time. So there's also a little bit of customization you can do in that regard as well. And then the cabinet ministers for the actual political advisors that you would expect in a normal game have also been a little bit reworked. Some new ones have been added with very good art done on them, especially if we go to Japan. You can see that there's a ton of actually unique ones. For example, this guy, the last Genro, Sayonji Kimochi, he's unique. Let's just say Ikikita, he's also unique. And then I'm pretty sure I saw another one somewhere, Kanji Ishiwara. This guy is also unique. He's essentially a grand battle plan doctrine guy, and he's a political advisor. So that's pretty nice to see that you can also do that as well as more standard cabinet stuff. I'm not sure if the companies have been reworked at all. Doesn't look like it, but that's fine. There's already been so many different changes to the mod. Oh, also, the leaders for Japan are not the well, it's not just Hirohito, it's just the prime ministers that Japan had. which is pretty nice to see because that's also something that could have been a little bit more coherent with, for example, the United Kingdom. Now, some of the countries, as you can see, have had their colors changed in the mod, which is fine. Not too much of a fan of the yellow United Kingdom, but it works a little bit. I guess it's okay. Sometimes you can get confused with some other countries, and also French Indochina was added, and also the Federated Malay states have been renamed from British Malaya, and a few of these states are actually controlled by Britain. As you can see, a ton of states have been added in East Asia, especially in Indochina. There are some new countries also that you can release, for example, Laos, that did not exist. And I believe also Korea has been having a bit of a rework. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. Maybe it's just the air zone. Maybe it was just South China earlier. Yes, anyway. Not sure if Manchukuo has a national focus tree. No, they don't, unfortunately. Who's their leader? Oh, Pui, right. So yeah, I really enjoy the mod for what it does to East Asia, and I can't really wait for it to be actually finished with the Republic of China focus tree, and maybe even a Chinese Soviet Republic focus tree. Also, very nice picture of Mao Zedong. Yeah, it's just so I could play it, because I really can't wait to actually seriously come in and actually have a full game with it, because it just adds a ton of flavor that was normally missing, and I enjoy that. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the mod. The link will be in the description, as always, and I'll see you soon.